A man in Hefei never expected one signature to upend his entire life. Years ago, he acquired foreign citizenship, not to abandon China, but simply to make it easier for his children to study and live overseas. His work, property, and daily life all remained firmly rooted in China. Yet one day, the local police station legally canceled his household registration. Overnight, he lost his Chinese citizenship, faced serious obstacles managing his assets, and found his life thrown into chaos. Believing the decision was unfair, he took the police station to court, demanding the restoration of his Chinese citizenship. The verdict was swift and cold. Under Chinese law, the moment he voluntarily obtained foreign citizenship, his Chinese nationality was automatically forfeited. The court ruled the cancellation lawful and rejected his claim outright. A single choice, made years earlier, had no reversal button. This case ignited a firestorm online. On mainland social media, the phrase forced cancellation of household registration began trending. The reason is simple. China does not recognize dual citizenship, and authorities have now moved to strictly enforce this rule. Chinese citizens who acquire foreign nationality are no longer allowed to quietly keep their hukou or continue enjoying the benefits tied to Chinese citizenship. The legal basis is clear. Article 9 of China's nationality law states that citizens who settle abroad and voluntarily obtain foreign citizenship automatically lose Chinese nationality. Household registration regulations reinforce this, requiring hukou cancellation once foreign citizenship is confirmed. What has changed is not the law, but the intensity of enforcement. Recently, many overseas Chinese have grown increasingly anxious. This is no longer about isolated cases or bad luck. Identity checks have tightened nationwide. Some travelers were directly told to clarify their nationality before leaving China. Others triggered system alerts automatically, prompting immediate local verification. The message is unmistakable. The rules are being enforced simultaneously and systematically. Why are so many reluctant to cancel their hukou? The answer lies in everyday reality. A foreign passport may make international travel easier, but inside China, a national ID card is everything. Hotels, trains, banking, medical care, business registration, life runs on that card. Giving it up feels less like a legal formality and more like losing a key to daily survival. Then came a turning point. On December 3rd, authorities launched a nationwide special investigation at all ports of entry. Border inspection systems were linked directly to the National Household Registration Database. From that moment on, anyone entering China with a foreign passport while still retaining a Chinese hukou would immediately trigger an alert. This time, there were no verbal warnings, only mandatory action. At Hangzhou Shaoshan International Airport, an Australian citizen of Chinese origin, let's call him Sam, learned this the hard way. As he prepared to fly back to Melbourne after a vacation, an alarm sounded at border control. An officer handed him a written notice stating that the system showed he still held Chinese household registration. Until it was canceled, he could not leave the country. Sam was stunned. He explained that he had legally obtained Australian citizenship years earlier, but his hukou in Henan had never been updated. The response was blunt. Return to your hometown, cancel it in person, or stay. His flight ticket became invalid on the spot, and he now faced daily overstay fines of up to 500 yuan. Similar stories surfaced across the country. In Shanghai, a well-known trainer shared how one of his followers, now a European citizen, was detained for nearly an hour at Shanghai Pudong International Airport. Border officers informed him that his Shanghai hukou had not been canceled and warned him to resolve it immediately. In Shenyang, a woman who had acquired Canadian citizenship but lived long-term in China was visited directly by police. Her hukou was canceled, and when she attempted to collect her pension, she was told she no longer qualified. She protested angrily, saying she had paid Social Security for more than 20 years. The officer's reply was unwavering. Foreign citizenship means loss of Chinese citizenship. Hukou cancellation is mandatory, and pension benefits must be handled in the country of nationality. At Guangzhou Baiyun International Airport, an Australian citizen surnamed Li faced the same fate. His foreign passport triggered a system warning. His Guangzhou hukou had to be canceled before departure. His ticket was voided, and all losses were his to bear. Official data released by China's National Immigration Administration shows the scale of the crackdown. In a single special investigation, over 8,300 individuals were verified. More than 1,200 were denied entry due to nationality inconsistencies, and over 3,700 were ordered to cancel their household registration within a fixed deadline. What was once quietly ignored is now being enforced with precision. For many overseas Chinese, the question is no longer whether the rules will be applied, but when their turn will come. Shanghai, Shenzhen, and several other major cities have already carried out large-scale cleanups, removing thousands of illegal household registrations. At the same time, cases of people being intercepted at borders due to identity issues have reportedly surged by over 300% compared with previous periods. What was once rare has suddenly become routine. At Hangzhou Shaoshan International Airport, one passenger witnessed the crackdown firsthand. Within just 30 minutes, 3 different people were taken away for identity verification after the system flagged inconsistencies. The atmosphere, he said, was tense and unmistakably different from before. Official statements repeatedly stressed that those who settle abroad or acquire foreign citizenship must cancel their household registration. But this wording has sparked confusion and anxiety online, especially around one question: what exactly does settling abroad mean? Some netizens pointed out that many people hold U.S. green cards yet live long-term in China, flying to the United States every 6 months and returning after a short stay. Does that count as settling abroad? Others live overseas for years on business or work visas, such as long-term residents in Japan with benefits nearly identical to local citizens. Without permanent residency, how are these cases classified? During this wave of investigations, one concern dominates discussions among overseas Chinese. If someone holds a foreign green card but not foreign citizenship, will they be targeted? Legally speaking, permanent residence abroad is not the same as acquiring foreign nationality, and household registration should not be canceled. But reality tells a different story. Across mainland China, enforcement standards are inconsistent. In some regions, public security bureaus have already canceled Hukou for people who only hold foreign permanent residency. A Shanghai blogger known as Shanghairen voiced widespread confusion. A green card, he explained, only grants long-term residence. It does not change nationality. Yet in practice, it may still lead to Hukou cancellation. So where does the Hukou really belong, he asked? China, or the country that issued the green card? It feels like policymakers never fully considered how ordinary people actually live. So why, after decades of not recognizing dual citizenship, is enforcement suddenly tightening now? Some analysts believe the answer lies not in law, but in money. A blogger known as Shanghai Resident argues that Shanghai's increasingly strict household registration management reflects deeper financial pressure. Once overseas residents trigger deregistration conditions, they are forced to choose status or benefits, no more enjoying both. He believes this shift is closely tied to the growing pension gap. Even today, many people holding foreign green cards continue paying into China's pension system. But Shanghai Resident warns that although they may technically qualify, the government may no longer be willing or able to pay pensions to this group in the future. The numbers are alarming. China's elderly population has surpassed 300 million and continues to grow by tens of millions each year. From 2006 to 2024, the number of people aged 60 and above rose from 149 million to 310 million, while their share of the total population jumped from 11.3% to 22%. In the coming years, roughly a mere 10 million more elderly people will be added annually. China is rapidly entering a severely aging society. Against this backdrop, another phenomenon is impossible to ignore. People are leaving. News that Olympic champion Liu Xiang had moved to the United States reignited debate. In the past, celebrities moving abroad often faced harsh criticism. This time, however, the internet was filled with blessings. People seemed to understand the pressure behind such decisions. Lin Dan in Spain, Ding Junhui in the UK, Yi Jianlian in the US, Yao Ming's children holding American citizenship. The pattern is clear. In recent years, a powerful wave of immigration has emerged in Chinese society, cutting across class and age. From the wealthy to the middle class, from professionals to ordinary workers. More people are choosing to leave China for countries like the United States, Canada, Japan, and Australia. Even as costs rise and requirements tighten, they are willing to pay almost any price for what they believe is a freer, more stable life. Immigration is no longer just for the elite. Legal migration, investment routes, skilled visas, student pathways, and even illegal channels are all being pursued. One Chinese migrant in Australia said bluntly, "In China today, ordinary people struggle just to survive. Marriage and children feel impossible. Going abroad has become the only exit." Xiaojiang, who has lived in Australia for years delivering food and doing odd jobs, said life there is easier despite modest income. Back home, everyone was stressed and angry, he recalled. Out of 4 childhood friends, only one is married. Here, without dowries or endless pressure, life feels lighter.